Thanks for joining me today, guys. We're talking, as you probably saw from the invite, about Facebook stuff. Am I already recording? Did I do that right? Yeah, I did. Sweet. We're talking about Facebook stuff. So we saw that it changed a couple of months ago to this new format, and what's been frustrating is that in regards to business pages specifically, Facebook has been kind of fumbling the ball a bit, where a lot of the stuff they've been trying to do, that when they made the transition, not everything on a business page was working, and then since everything is up and going now, they've made it not harder to do things, but things are a little bit more confusing than they used to be. How to boost a post, or where you go to do certain things. So I just kind of wanted to do a refresher, hopefully not too long. Hopefully we can do this in 40 minutes or something like that. Just to kind of go over where all of these things are, if they've moved, how to boost a post, and then a couple updated, I guess you could say, best practices that we've kind of worked on and discovered over the past few months. So everyone's muted. If you guys have questions, write them in the chat, unmute yourself, ask away. But basically, we're going to focus specifically on office pages, and we're going to focus specifically on boosting posts and best practices there. So those are going to be our two big focuses today. So let me share my screen. One of the first things that I've had people have issues with is that if they go to Facebook and they try to go to the business page, let me try going to Coldwell Banker, Woodland Schmidt, Holland maybe. If you search for the page this way, it's going to bring you to your business page. And sometimes here, people have had issues boosting posts. Now, hopefully, most of you guys are using the link that I've sent you before, which is your business. So the link should read something like business.facebook.com. Now, I used to say, just literally type in the word business. business.facebook.com/CBWS. But now that doesn't work for whatever reason. Now, what's really annoying about that is if I actually go to the link, it works. If I actually, I have it saved and I click on it, it works. So if you're going to your business page and you're having some issues, please reach out to me so I can make sure to get you the right link. Because once you have the right link, it's a matter of saving it as a bookmark and always going to that link to post. Because what the issue was somebody would go to boost a post here. They'd click boost post. They do all the stuff that we talk about, and then at the end of it, it would say something. You'd click boost post, and it would be. Let's see if it'll do it for me. Oops, probably not going to do it, is it? And I'm going to have to undo this ad. Starting off strong, JD. What happened is you'd get to this point, you'd click boost post now, and then what would happen is you would basically get an alert that says like, please enter your office company information and your address and your business info. A screen that we had never seen before. I'm going to go ahead and delete that ad because we don't want that. Something you never see before, and it was just really confusing. You'd see a screen that we don't really have anything to do with. So the way around that, if you've never had that issue, then ignore everything I just said. But for those of us who have had that, the way to get around that is to use the business link, and that's what we're going to want to do. I'm going to write that down to make sure I cancel. I'm just going to do it now. So the first thing is make sure we're using the right link, and it should look something like business.facebook.com/ the business page that you work in, whether it's Michigan, Ohio, Florida, whatever page it is, the link should look generally something like that. So that's part number one. And then part two is basically we're going to talk about creating the post, because we have a couple updated best practices there on creating the post, and then we're going to talk about actually how to boost posts, because it's not too much different than it used to be, but there are some big changes or some big things that we want to make sure that we do that weren't as important before. So we'll take a look at that. I just turned the ad off, so that's not a problem anymore. So the first thing I'm going to do, guys, in order to kind of talk about what we want to talk about, was I'm going to find a listing on CB Great Lakes. We're going to use CB Great Lakes as an example. Thankfully, I have one up because I was a little prepared. We're just going to use this listing as an example. So it's one of our agents in Holland, Sam. It's a listing of his. I'm just going to use this for our purposes. So what I'm going to do, if I want to post this to Facebook, I'm going to go up here and right click and copy the URL for this listing. Right click, copy. Now I'm using the Moxie site. That's what CB Great Lakes, CB Schmidt, Ohio, CB Florida Homes. That's what we hope that you guys are using. If you're using coldwellbanker.com, that's also okay, but we want to make sure we're using our company sites. I haven't really seen this on an office level, but we don't want to be using Zillow. We don't want to be using realtor.com, anything like that. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your business page. You're going to click on Create Post. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to paste that link into your page. So we've got the photo that automatically pulls over from the listing, from the website, from the listing. Hopefully, this is a good photo, because if it's not, our lives get trickier and more difficult. But if this is a good photo, things are going to be very smooth and very easy for us to do. So we've got this listing here. We've got the link right here. Now we want to add some verbiage to it. So we're going to say something very brief. New listing, beautiful. I'm going to make this stuff up. I don't know if it's true. Beautiful new build in Holland. In downtown Holland, let's say. And downtown Holland. And then I'm going to add a couple of points underneath it about the home itself. So I'm going to do 3-bed. I don't know if you guys can see my keyboard if I do this. This button right here, if you press Shift and then use this guy, it makes the line like a straight line. And it actually looks really cool for ads. So if I do 3 beds, I do that line, I do 3 baths, I do completed in November 2020, and then I say close to downtown shopping or something like that. I've got 4 points here that are short and easy to read. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some emojis to this post, some emoticons to make it pop a little bit. So I'm going to click this little emoji right here. And I'm just going to look for the star. You've got dozens and dozens of things here, but I'm going to go find the star because I like to draw attention to what we're doing. And I got to find where it is because who knows where they keep the star on this thing. I thought we were going to get close there, but we didn't. I have a shortcut of doing this too that I'll show you in a second, but it's not working the way I want it to. So you can search. There's plenty of stuff here, obviously. You can do a home, maybe. Maybe we do that. We do the house. Put the little house down there. The other thing you can do on your keyboard, this is more of a Mac shortcut, I'm sorry, but if you hold down Control Command, and then you hit the space bar, you can see that emoji search pops up on the computer, and I can type in star, and boom, there it is. Whoop, there it is. So I'm going to click the star here, and I'm actually going to bring it up here. I want to do 1 star in the beginning here, and I want to do 1 star at the end there. And then I'm just going to move this house emoji. And I'm just copying and pasting stuff right now, guys. I'm going to move the house emoji right up there. So now I don't have too much text, but I have enough for people to be interested. I've got the new listing, beautiful new build in Holland. I'm actually going to even take that out. I'm just going to say new build in Holland. And then 3-bed, 3-bath, completed November 2020, close to downtown shopping. And then I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to say, especially if this is for your office, I'm going to say, listed by Sam Greenstein. Click below to learn more. That's it, guys. That's all we really need to be adding. I've seen some people do, instead of this version right here, they'll do it like this. They'll do 3-bed. They'll do 3-bath. Completed. They'll do it kind of bullet pointed like this. Totally great too. That's totally acceptable. They both kind of work. We haven't seen too much between either of those to prefer one or the other. But the point is that we're not just copying and pasting all of the marketing remarks. We're sharing the pertinent information in a succinct way that hopefully grabs my attention. Now, I did see there was a question, so I want to go to that. Well, there's a couple questions. There we go. Thank you, guys. Oh, perfect. There we go, Cindy. Yeah, especially when you're scrolling on Facebook, you don't want to just see a big wall of text. You want to see it short and succinct. So this is great if you have a couple more lines. Actually, if I go to the luxury page, when we do our luxury home of the week, I normally do it bullet pointed. so that it's still easy to read. It's not as much as it used to be about making sure that people don't have to click see more. You know, we used to talk about only do 2 lines so that that see more doesn't come up. That's still not a bad practice, but it's more about making the information that you have look succinct as opposed to not doing that. So I'm trying to find the home of the weeks that we do, like this one right here. Now again, it helps that it's a home in the Virgin Islands, but if I click see more, we got bullet points here. And even these bullet points for me, and I wrote this, so I'm my own medicine here, they're a little bit on the long side, but again, when you're talking about luxury homes, you do have more that you're trying to push out there. But again, we've got one headline grabbing line right here, a few bullet points, and then the link for the listing. That's all of the text that we're doing on these posts, on these ads. So that's really how short and succinct we want it to be, guys. And I'm actually going to go back to my my test. I don't want to actually post that on the Holland page, so I'm going to copy and paste it here to the my personal test page, my JD test page. Leave. Let's see what the chat is. Is there a way to make all the text show up at once? No. Unfortunately, Carly, there's not. The way to do that is to have very little text. But that's a Facebook thing. That's not anything that we can control. So like again, even the one I just posted here, it's only 1 line, but it does have that see more pop up. So there's not anything we can do for that besides not have a lot of text. And the problem there is you start to go, okay, well, we need to have these points here to make it interesting, but if we don't do it, if we do too much, it's gonna go see. It's a whole back and forth. But what we've noticed when we do these ads is that if those first 2 or 3 lines are catchy enough, and people and maybe apply to me, maybe I'm looking for a home that is 3-bed, 3-bath, or the close to downtown, I will click the see more. I will click the link to learn more. So there's nothing we can do and besides making sure that we don't overwhelm them with a wall of text and that the text we do put is relevant, interesting information. One other interesting thing that we've learned over the past few months, and we've done this with our virtual open houses that we used to do, or we still do. We've learned this with listing ads in multiple regions. Generally speaking, and again, please remember all of these things are general as opposed to 100% hard rules. Generally speaking, ads with 1 photo get more clicks than carousels. There's one exception to that, which I'll talk about momentarily, but more often than not, 1 photo ads like this get more clicks than multiple photo ads like this. Now, the problem is that, especially when you look at this listing here that I was sharing photos from a couple months ago for training, there's a lot of really good photos here. These photos are beautiful. Beautiful pool and skyline, beautiful, like so vivid interior photo. It looks great. But everything that we've seen, all the tests, all the ads that we've run has shown us that 1 photo, and an exterior photo at that, gets more clicks than carousels. So in terms of new listings, if you're doing, or not even new listings, but specific singular listings, if you're doing ads for your office for single listings, I want us to try as much as we can to just do single image ads. Let me go to the chat again because I saw someone write in. Phone numbers. That's a agents and phone number also. That's not a bad idea, Cindy. I think the agent's name, of course, for a listing. In my experience, if you have a phone number there, more often than not, people don't use it from there specifically. It's not like I'm going to look at your post and kind of go back and forth and type it in on my phone. But agents do love that exposure. They do love having their number out there. And it doesn't necessarily do a lot of harm, especially if it's sort of towards the end here. Like if I added Sam's number right here, it wouldn't do too much harm. It's not a best practice, but if there's a world where all of a sudden your agents are bringing pitchforks to you, I wouldn't mind you adding it. Don't worry about it like that. But best practice would be to leave it out because people are not going to use the phone number from a Facebook ad 99 times out of 100. So I said that there's going to be exceptions to the carousel rule, and I guess there are technically 2. The first one, should we continue using the social media templates, or are we just using the picture that's brought by the link? So Caitlin, it's a great question, and we're sort of talking about two separate things here. So when I look at the Premiere page specifically, and you guys have a lot of the templates that you're posting, the solds that just listed with the agent stuff, those graphics are great, but those graphics are not being advertised. You're not, putting a marketing budget behind them and boosting them in your community. You're just sharing them on the page. And there is a lot of value in that, and I've seen those agents interact with those posts like crazy, so I would not stop doing that. This is a different sort of a conversation. This is, hey, we're going to do a sponsored post in our area. We're going to physically advertise this listing. And specifically with Premiere, at least, the Premiere page does a lot of the virtual open house. Every week there's a virtual open house ad, but there's not that many listing ads yet in terms of that. And, again, this is where it's going to become a side conversation where we can totally, I think, have a big picture discussion about the Premiere page, adding to it. But that would be that would be a bit of a sidebar. So great question. The templates are great, guys. They're Inchmit resources. Let me actually show you an example of what we're talking about here because it's really good stuff. Coldwell Banker Premiere Properties. And actually these templates were made because of how successful they were on the Premiere page. So we've got things like this. We've got, new agent posts here. We've got these just sold templates here. These oftentimes do really well with the agents, especially these things, especially new agents, happy birthday, stuff like that. That stuff is some of the best stuff we can post, especially for our agents. But again, I don't want to get too sidetracked on that. But yes, continue to do the templates. There might be a larger conversation for Premiere specifically about doing more ads from the Facebook page, which I am 100% on board to have. So the two exceptions, guys, that I want to use for actual posts and ads. One, multiple listings in one ad. This is generally a thing when we're talking about open houses. If you're talking about doing, hey, here are 5 open houses this weekend or 3 open houses this weekend, then generally, yes, we're going to do a carousel post. Actually, while we stick it to Florida, stick with Florida, I'm going to go to the Paradise page that Hillary posts some great ads from. Let me scroll to it, Hillary. So open house ads for, and by the way, I think this is a brand new one, so I'd have to find some old ones. We were getting things as low as literally 10 cents per click on some of these ads. So I'm trying to find one of the, there's one fairly recently. Well, a carousel of multiple listings is going to make sense. Oh, this is because it was the holiday weekend, which is why I'm scrolling further back. Open houses this weekend, something like this. So you can see each of these images is for a different listing. So for all the rating aside is not acceptable. What you're saying now is acceptable. I mean, if you're looking at something like this, she's doing the thing where she's separating them with these points.
No, I was talking about the ad that had happy birthday.
Yeah, go on. The happy birthday posts.
Yeah, so I've tried to put those in before, and it would block me on posting it because it said there was too much writing on the inside of the picture.
So we're talking about two separate things now. Posting those to the page, posting it as a post on the page like this, absolutely, 100%. If we tried to boost this as an ad, no bueno.
Okay, that's where.
Yes,
okay.
Posting the on a very base level, guys, on an kind of office level, these posts here are essentially their agent retention posts or their agent value posts, right? Our agents love seeing these posts on Facebook. They love seeing themselves, the happy birthday post or a new agent post, or in this case, Emily had her first closing. That does a lot for the agent. It means a lot to them. And we don't normally put budget behind these because you're right, this would not do well in terms of advertising on Facebook. But just posting to our page, it's a very good idea. And all of these templates can be found in Schmidt Resources where you can plug and play the address and the content there. But no, if we were trying to do a thing where we are trying to, I want to target people in Traverse City who live in this area who have recently visited Zillow, That stuff needs to look more like this. Just photos and stuff. So the two examples, like I said, one, if you have multiple listings, a carousel is a great idea. And two, if the photo that gets pulled over, well, I have too many links up here. If the photo that gets pulled over from the listing is not good, then we can talk about adding a couple more photos. In a perfect world, guys, our agents would all have top-notch photography, beautiful photos done for every single one of their listings. In reality, they don't do that. we have seen that. And every office does it a little bit differently in terms of how they do ads. Some offices, depending on the size, do every new listing gets an ad. Some, it's kind of 1 or 2 a week that meet all these criteria. So if you have a listing that doesn't have good photos and you've had this discussion with your manager, don't post that listing. And if someone, if someone's got a problem with it, then we actually talk about this using Hillary and Paradise as an example. We do a lot of ads from that page for specific listings, but we don't do every listing because sometimes there are bad photos. And if someone, says, why didn't you do an ad for my listing, or why did they get one and I didn't? Well, I say, hey, listen, I'd love to do your listing as an ad. We just need it to have high-res photography because that's what does best on Facebook. That's what gets the most clicks and the most views. So if you are able to do some new photography or get some photos uploaded, we'd love to run an ad for it. So it's kind of taking that angle of, hey, we're not, as a company, going to run bad advertisements from our Facebook page. I've very, very rarely had that conversation where an agent says, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing me? But that taking that angle is the way to do it. And yeah, new photography is way better. So I mean, I would, if the agent's gonna do photos, wait until they get new photos done. It's just going to be, we always need to be keeping in mind from our perspective as managers and as ASCs and RSCs, we need to make sure the ads promote the company in the best way possible. And our goal is to promote an agent and their listings and our brand all at the same time. But if the ad doesn't have good photos, it's not going to perform well. I was actually just doing Launchpad for Michigan right before this for 2 hours, like I said. And we talked about that. I was telling them, I've seen, if you guys probably don't know, I've been on paternity the past few weeks, and I've been on Facebook a lot more because I have time. I've seen so many ads the past 8-9 weeks from other real estate companies in the Holland area that are crap. They have bad photos, the links have been broken, there's nothing attractive about them, and that looks bad on that company as a whole. And what our objective is to do the opposite of that. We want our ads in an office to be so good that it brings our office up, it brings our agents up. So that's why we go over these best practices, and that's why we say, hey, listen, we have to have high-res photography in order to do these ads on Facebook. Otherwise, it's just not going to get clicks, it's not going to get traction, and we want to make sure that we do the best that we can do. So, as much as you can, guys, one photo is how we want to do it. If we have to do a few, there's opportunity for that, but as much as we can, stick to one over the other, unless you're doing multiple listings or that you have to do this listing and you don't have a great main photo being pulled over. Now, I want to talk about one specific issue that I have not found a workaround for yet, and that goes for everybody on the team that's been working on this stuff. Sometimes, if you go to create post and you put a listing in, it will not give you the option to add more photos in a carousel. Normally you'd see that pop up right here where it has the little plus symbol and I can click plus and I can add more photos. That's not showing up right here. And what happens a couple of times is if you click, maybe you're like, oh, maybe I need to click photo video right here. And you add the other 2 or 3 photos that you're trying to add or whatever. It actually totally redoes your ad, and it's not even a listing ad anymore. Now it's just a group of photos, and that takes away, it really screws up a lot. That's not what we want to do. So what the problem that I found one workaround, but the problem that we're facing is that sometimes I post a link, and let me refresh it. Sometimes I post a link and that does not pop up. It does not give me the option to make a carousel from this area. I can't see that. Sometimes I go here and I post it, and oh look, there it is right there. I got the plus sign. I can click it. I can add more photos. Let me try to do that real quick to show you what I'm talking about. I can add a couple more photos. And now it's going to make it a carousel for me. The only rhyme or reason that I have found is making sure that we're using the business URL that I referred to earlier. If you need help doing that, again, let me know. Say, hey, I need the URL for the Escanaba page. I'll make sure to send you the right link that you can bookmark. But now you'll see we have a carousel. And this photo we don't like as much, so I can drag this one over. And boom, now we're starting with that does not look like Holland, Michigan. That's not even funny how bright and beautiful that looks right now. Now we have a carousel of images, which again, just as a reminder for a carousel, guys, if you're new to the carousels, every single one of these images, if I'm swiping on my phone or my computer, if I click on it, it will take me to that website, to that listing. And why that's valuable is when we look at like this Paradise one here, Hillary has crafted it where each photo advertises a different listing, but then would also theoretically take people to that listing specifically. Or you could have them all go to a general search for your community. So again, there's a lot we can do here. But unfortunately, I just realized we're literally already half an hour into this. So my point is if you have an issue where this is not popping up for you, you can't add extra photos here, there's one new thing that I found that we can make a carousel in. And I would say don't use this unless you have to, just because it can get confusing. But what I want us to do from our business page is click promote. That big blue button that said promote, and I'll actually go back to show you again where that is. So on my business page here, right under my page name and some stuff here, it says promote. It's a blue button that says promote. If we click on that, I'm going to be able to make an ad, basically. So I'm going to say I want to get more website visitors, and we'll talk more about this in a second. This is a huge, huge thing. We're going to click on that. And then from this screen, I can make an ad however I want. So, my description might be, like we talked about earlier, I'll do the star. That would be this whole thing. Let me just see if I can even copy and paste. I'm just going to pull some of Hillary's right here. Copy and paste. So in this description area, you'll see as you make the ad over here on the left, everyone, it will appear on the right. So I paste that in. Boom. It all shows up over there on the right as well. And then it says here, media 1 out of 5. I can select multiple images to create a carousel here. So I'm going to just select a bunch of random photos that I have here. Those 4 here. Select. And it's going to make a carousel for me. This is the one workaround I've found if you can't make a carousel normally. I'm only showing this to you so you know how it works. I am not saying this is the way we should do them. I just want to give you the option on how to do that. And then from here on out, you would make the rest of your ads. So I would maybe say, new list, check out new listings. And I can change each headline right here. New headline, I can do 1, 2, 3, Main Street, Holland, MI. I can do, actually no, I can just do 1, 2, 3, Main Street. So you can make it this way. Again, I don't want you guys to spend too much time worrying about this. I just want to show you that this exists in this world. What I want to spend the last of our few minutes here, on the last 10 minutes or so, is I just want to go through again how to boost a post on Facebook now that they've moved things around a little bit. So because the majority of our ads are listing based, and I'm not talking about posts to the page, I'm not talking about new agents or birthdays or graphics or anything like that. I'm talking specifically, I am boosting an advertisement in my market. The vast majority of those that we do are going to be listing related, either open houses, new listings, luxury listings, stuff like that. You want to make sure you have a link like this. So again, the way I did this in the beginning, this is the first thing we went over. I went to CB Great Lakes. You will go to whatever region you're in, CB Schmidt, Ohio, CB Florida Homes. You're going to look for that listing, and then you're going to copy and paste that link into the business page. And then you're going to add the text like we did, and then you're going to click submit. But you'll know the difference because you can tell that this is a link ad because I have this big gray bar down here. Whereas if I only had a group of photos, I don't know if I have any examples here on my test page. I don't. I only have links here. Or like this. This is just a photo. There's no link down here. There's nothing for me to click on down here. So that's why this is not a link post. This is just a photo. Always make sure if we're doing a listing ad, we want it to be a link ad. So what we're going to do to advertise this, step 1, big blue button, boost post. Now, basically most of what we have done in the past in terms of boosting a post still applies here. It's the same stuff. They've just moved things around a little bit because they think they're fun. Number 1 thing is this ad account right up here in the upper right hand corner. If you are an admin on a company Facebook page, you have an ad account associated with that page. It is normally basically, if you're the Holland page, it's CBWS Holland. If you're the Strongsville page, it's CB Strongsville. So here are all of them. You should only have the one you're associated with. Oh my gosh, this list is longer than I realized it was. Keep going. No, it's not. So, like I said, if you're the Sunstar, if Risa, if you're on here doing an ad, you would just have your personal name, and it would say CB Sunstar Realty. Ginger's would say Ginger, and then it would say CBSR Traverse City. You should only have the one, or depending on your role, maybe 2 ad accounts that you are associated with. But you do want to make sure that you choose that ad account. It should automatically happen for you. I'm trying to look for the Holland one specific. I'll just use Grand Haven. It should default to that ad account for you, especially if you've done an ad in the past. So you can see up here it says ad account CBWS Grand Haven. I'm good to go. That means I'm using the right ad account. Like I said, it should save for you. I would just always double check, right? As you're scrolling, as you're doing an ad, make sure it says the right ad account up there. If it doesn't, switch it over. So always make sure you do the ad account. That's how it gets charged to the marketing card. That's how it's organized from my end, and that's how we bill back to the offices the budget. I get a receipt that says Grand Haven did $100. I go, great, here you go, Grand Haven, it's all taken care of. So it's really important that we use these ad accounts. Start coughing soon. So, goal. What is the goal from this ad? Now, most of the time, Facebook does a very good job of doing the right automatic goal. However, if it's not, we want to make sure we do get more website visitors. For safety, especially if we're doing listings, guys, I would always, instead of leaving it on automatic, I'd click change and I'd click get more website visitors. That means the goal of that ad is to get people to click on the ad and visit that website, visit that listing. That should be our goal. There are other objectives here that might make sense from time to time, but I really would not recommend using these. Get more engagement just means I want people to see my post. I don't care if they go to the listing. I just want them to like it and to comment and to share it and to see it and to engage with the post. That's not a great business goal. It might look great if you get 15, 20 likes on a post, sure. But if they're not going to the listing and are interested in the property itself, it's not as valuable. And then get more messages, get more leads. Get more leads is complicated. Get more messages. If we click that and we save it, you'll see that the objective for my ad changes now. So instead of saying learn more, it says send message. And I can't edit anything else about that besides if I use Messenger or WhatsApp. I can't make it say learn more. I can't change anything else, which is why it's important that we make sure it says get more website visitors. Our objective is to get more people to visit the listings on Facebook, on our website, which is why our goal is website visitors. Now you'll notice that I changed it back to website visitors, but it kept the send message button down here. It did not revert back to learn more. It's an easy fix. All we have to do is under this section that says button, where it says button label, we're just going to click, and we have a bunch of options here. We're just going to go back to learn more. I'm going to click learn more, and we're back to where we're supposed to be. So it is vital that to make sure our ads are as good and powerful as possible, that our goal is get more website visitors, and our button is learn more. Then we've got our old pal, the special ad category. If you do not turn this on and you do not choose housing, your ad won't run. Period. It will get rejected. So turn on the special ad category, choose housing, and you're good there. And then the rest of the stuff is a lot like the way it used to be, guys. So, we're going to want to talk about who do we want to target? Who is our audience here? And you can click this little pencil and you can edit that. We're going to pick, because this is an ad theoretically for Grand Haven, I'm going to type in Grand Haven, Michigan. And I'm going to choose, just for the sake of it, maybe a 20-mile radius, just because I want it to widen out a little bit there. And then I'm going to say for detailed targeting, I'm going to say I want people who have recently visited Zillow. And I literally get that by just typing in the word Zillow. I want people who have recently visited Zillow. I want people interested in real estate. And I want people who have recently visited Realtor.com. 3 simple categories. We're not drilling down too far here, and we're not casting the widest net. We're targeting people who are interested in real estate or have interacted with real estate ads. So then I'm going to click Save. And then the last part, guys, is basically how much, just like we've said before, how much money do you want to spend? How long do you want the ad to run for? The Facebook minimum is $1 a day. So 30 days, $30, 7 days, $7. But it goes without saying, the more you spend, the more clicks, the more reach you're going to get. You can see some estimated results right here. So you can see, okay, you're spending $10 over 5 days, $2 a day. You're probably going to reach 112 to 300 people. Whoa, to 300 people a day, and get 7 to 30 clicks on the listing per day. If I bring my budget up from $10 to, let's go up to $50, you'll see that go up. People reached 522 to 1.5, link clicks 36 to 111. They're estimates. They're nice little estimates, but they're not gospel, so don't swear by them. So you pick how long you want it to run for and for how long. In general, a week is a good length to run an ad. So especially if you have a new listing or you're doing a specific listing, a special, whatever, run the ad for a week and give it a decent sized budget, as we've discussed on other trainings, other calls. The only time you'd want to do less than 7 days is if you had an open house that you were doing, something time sensitive. You start the ad on a Wednesday and the open houses are Saturday, Sunday. Well, it's not going to make sense to run it past Sunday because the open houses have ceased. So a week minimum is a good time length to work with the exception of open houses, which of course you're not going to really be able to have open houses a week out, or to know all that a week out. So you would pick your days, or you can either do it this way. I can either go up by days by clicking plus and minus here, or I can literally go to the calendar and pick the date that I want it to stop. They both accomplish the exact same thing, just however your brain works. And then, guys, as always, I know that we get very busy. I completely know how busy we all get. I always just recommend giving it a once-over. Read the text to make sure it makes sense. Make sure you've got everything the way it's supposed to be. And then you're just going to click Boost Post Now in the lower right-hand corner. And you're off to the races. There's normally going to be those few minutes where it's under review, and then you'll probably get a notification that says your ad's running. And if it's not, you'll get a notification that says your ad's been rejected. I would comfortably say, with the exception of some glitches on Facebook's side, 100% of rejected ads from the past year have been because of the special ad category. If not 100%, 99%. So always make sure you have special ad category toggled on and you've chosen housing. And then you're done. Then you're boosting the post. Now, that's where I'm going to leave it for today, guys. I just wanted to kind of go over where these things are. Please write in questions if you have any quick. And as you do that, right before I went on paternity leave, I think literally the week that I left was when we rolled out this new Facebook plan to every manager in every region. And I believe Tracy covered it on the ASC training back in early October. Thank you, Ginger. I can read lips. So so she did. And so I know that that's out there. I know that it, one of the things that I tried to highlight really strongly in that plan is the need for collaboration between you and your manager, between your manager and you and me. We need to make sure that we're collaborating, because I've had a lot of fun. It's funny it'd be funny if it wasn't so, sometimes frustrating, where we ask a manager, hey, I'm not going to use Kenny as an example, I'm just using Ginger as an example, and then Kenny by default, where Ginger and I will say, hey, Kenny, do you mind sitting down with us and doing a quick Zoom call? We just want to go over our general plan for the Facebook page for Traverse City. And Kenny goes, I trust you guys, take care of it. All right, cool. So we run with it, we do our own thing. 2 months later, a manager's freaking out. Why aren't you doing this on the page? And why are we doing this? And what's going on here? And we're like, well, we wanted to talk to you about this stuff. Like, we figured out this plan. So this collaboration, just so everybody's on the same page. Our office managers will not be the ones posting. Very few of them really directly interact with the page. But it is important for them to know what's going on and where we're spending our office budget and what we're doing on these pages. And then additionally, the last thing, and no questions are coming in, so I'll move to this quick. It's important to share results on these ads, guys. I mean, whether that's just between you and the manager, or maybe your manager likes to share it with the office, sharing results is fantastic. So you can go to any post that you've done. I'll go down to like this one right here that Hillary ran last week. I click view results, and I can see we did just under 5,000 people, got 748 clicks, 10 cents per click. It cost us 10 cents to get someone to see our post and then click on it and view it on the website. That is a great cost per click. Generally, anything 40 to 50 cents and under is what we're going for. Sometimes it's a bit higher than, if it's ever over $1, we should stop the ad and reconvene a little bit. But anything, generally 10 to 50 to 60 cents is going to be okay. That's well within the range that we're looking for. But show an agent this. Show the manager. Say, hey, 5,000 people saw it. We had 748 people click on the listing. When I was doing the Launchpad training a few minutes ago, or an hour ago, I was talking about how agents oftentimes don't do a great job of sharing with their clients the marketing that they're doing. I've had agents say, I'm going to lose this listing, and they think that I'm not doing any marketing, and they don't know that I've done a Facebook ad and I've done this campaign, I did a video. And I say, well, have you told them that you've done those things? And they say, well, no. It's like, well, then why would they know? It's the same thing with our offices. We've had a lot of, over the past few years, agent worry and agent concern that as we moved from print to digital, that they were going to lose something. And a lot of the conflict that I've seen since then has been where the agents don't realize all the ad campaigns that we are running for them on a weekly basis. But if you start, hey, sales meeting once a month, hey guys, here were the overall stats for the month of November. We got 30,000 views on our ads and we had 3,000 clicks. Just wanted to keep you updated. That sounds powerful to the agents. And I agree, this is a much nicer layout. And, I'll also say, guys, by the way, I got to this again by just going to a specific post here, looking for a post, and then clicking the view results button right here. It's a little button under this. I clicked view results. And you could literally take a screenshot of just this right here, and you could send that out. You could talk with marketing and have a little template created where you can plug things in and you can share that. But it's more about sharing it than it is how you're doing it. But again, it's always nice to pretty it up a bit. Patty asked, do we have a certain budget that we have to adhere to? Yeah, so that was part of the plan, part of the office Facebook plan here. Let me actually just get the actual full document up. We have that right here in the advertising section. Minimum is $100 a month. If we're doing ads that are $5 to $10 per ad, we're not getting results from those. It's, like I said here, fewer ads with bigger budgets. Do 4 ads for $50 a piece versus 10 ads for $10 a piece, or however that math works out. So the minimum is 100. From there, I would say it's a conversation with your manager. Ultimately, the decision is up to them. I can recommend based on office size, based on listings, based on whatever, but it's kind of between them and Tracy or them and Jason or the regional leader on how much they spend on that office because it does get billed back to that office.